Tonight, House of Representatives denies allegations of budget extortion. NATI's 2025 proposals under the scrutiny of lawmakers. House of Representatives calls for prudent spending. Plus, National Assembly urges Inland Waterways Authority to prioritize rivers dredging to mitigate flooding. Good evening and welcome to Parliamentary News. I am NTA Ojonugba. The House of Representatives has described as baseless and unfounded allegations that some lawmakers in the National Assembly are demanding bribes from vice-chancellors of federal universities to approve their 2025 budget allocations. House spokesman Akin Rotimi says allegations contained in an online medium are coming at a time when some heads of federal tertiary institutions have failed to appear before the House for budget defense sessions, despite their constitutional obligations to do so. The House spokesman notes that while recent oversight visits by the House Committee on University Education revealed poor governance practices in some institutions, certain individuals have resorted to blackmail of Parliament ahead of the outcome of ongoing investigation. Rotimi states that the 10th House of Representatives is firmly committed to transparency, accountability, and the highest ethical standards in all its legislative activities. The House challenges anyone with credible evidence of misconduct to present it to the appropriate authorities, including the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges or anti-corruption agencies for independent investigations. Speakers at a national dialogue on election disinformation in Nigeria have stressed the need to leverage technology, such as artificial intelligence, to further deepen Nigeria's democratic structures. Garba Nata'ala reports that relevant stakeholders at the gathering in Abuja made their submissions to counter negative narratives, reinforce public trust, and intensify voter education at all levels.
Over the years, elections have generated controversies and dominated the country's political landscape, particularly concerning issues such as voter apathy, ballot snatching, the timely distribution of sensitive election materials, the declaration of results, and the overall conduct of the electoral process. At the federal, state, and local cycles, many election-related problems are exacerbated when stakeholders compromise information and social media influencers amplify these falsehoods, further undermining the system and eroding public trust in electoral processes. These issues also manifest at intra-party level and can sometimes complicate judicial proceedings.
It's not easy to determine what is factual and what is not factual. And in approaching it, therefore, that problem, you need to look for other resources, other things to confirm.
I think it's important to bring into the mix of our work sub-national elections that are conducted by the state independent electoral commissions.
It's ICCC, INEC Citizen Contact Center. So that is a platform where information is, the commission monitors whatever is being out there in the social media, in the traditional media.
The interactive session highlighted the need for the Electoral Commission to streamline processes and operate within the framework of the law.
We can have a freer space where the minds of citizens is not affected by negative narrative around elections. We still want people to come out and vote at all times.
Recommendations focused on amending electoral laws, addressing legal and constitutional complications, and examining the roles of the independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), the judiciary, the media, and security agencies in conducting electoral process. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Ta'ala, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has queried a proposal of 32 million naira for refreshment in the 2025 budget estimates of the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative (NATI). At the budget defense before the House Committee on Petroleum Resources upstream, lawmakers called for prudence in the expenditure of government resources. The agency expects to utilize its 2025 budget envelope of 6.5 billion to enthrone transparency in Nigeria's oil and gas, as well as mining sectors, working in collaboration with anti-graft agencies.
The template is not universally convenient for all agencies. You find the operations that are peculiar to NTA. For instance, NTA is an international. There are basic obligations that we owe the country to comply and remain compliant to the international community.
Refreshments and meals, 32 million naira. No matter the type of stakeholders that come to you throughout the year, there's no way. What are you serving? People don't serve more than tom-tom and Coke and water. There's never any time you serve meals.
The best sharp, empty, 5051 colored photocopia is just about 4.1 million. If you use that to divide your 81 million, that means you are buying about 19 photocopier for whose office?
Agencies of government like your own must also be mindful of what to expend out of public coffers. All of these presentations you have made, the expenditures proposed, are all going to be done at the expense of the public.
Meanwhile, the National Assembly Joint Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters during its budget defense session with various agencies in the judiciary called for harmonization of some capital projects in the nation's capital.
Each court have a clinic. Now you are going to budget 8 billion for the Supreme Court. That's part funding. The Court of Appeal, I went there, they said they are building their own. The Federal Court, they are building their own. They want to their own. NIC, they want their own. Why can't we aggregate all these monies and build one that is open to all judicial officers?
As we all know, this country is facing a lot of security challenges. We all have to collaborate, especially the judiciary, to ensure speedy dispensation of justice.
In another development, the National Assembly Joint Committee on Marine Transport is advising the National Inland Waterways to prioritize dredging of rivers in the 2025 appropriation and collaborate with other related authorities to mitigate flooding and other natural disasters to save lives and property of Nigerians. This was during the 2025 budget defense of the agency. National Assembly correspondent Isa Mohammed reports.
The Joint Committee notes that for effective mitigation of flooding, it is important to place more emphasis on dredging of rivers and waterways. This, the committee believes, will develop water transport for revenue generation, job creation, and security enhancement.
If you do dredge these waterways, particularly River Benue, you will be going a long way to solving some of this problem, because as long as Cameroon does not stop flushing their dams that will come and wash us away, and these dams are being flushed every year or every 2 years, it's supposed to be enough warning for us.
Max dredging of 1,000 kilometers navigable inland waterways, removal of dredge and blocks to bring inland waterways, mechanical and manual carrying of water items.
Meanwhile, the National Assembly wants the National Hajj Commission to make case for a subsidy in Hajj fares for Nigerian Muslim pilgrims to Holy Land of Saudi Arabia to ease their spiritual obligations. This was during the Commission's 2025 budget defense before the House Committee on Muslim Pilgrims Affairs.
Some of the challenges: delay in procurement process, higher inflation rate, and the inadequate capital ceiling allocated to the Commission.
It is fully your responsibility to bargain and take unanimous decision on the amount of Hajj fare. And we are to scrutinize.
Both parties agreed to work together with other relevant bodies to bring succor to Nigerian prospective pilgrims. From the National Assembly, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
Moving on to the recent tragedy in Niger State, Governor Umar Bago has ordered the immediate search and evacuation of explosive materials from Sabon-Pegi, a community where an explosive claimed 2 lives and destroyed properties. Salihu Gwanara reports that the governor gave the directive when he led state and federal government delegation, including the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in a sympathy visit to the affected community.
Although Niger State is known as the Power State, it also prides itself as having the largest landmass in Nigeria, sitting on several natural resources. The quest for these resources has made illegal mining activities attractive in remote communities like Sabon-Pegi, about 300 kilometers away from Minna, the state capital. The state and federal government delegation are here not only to sympathize with the victims and people of the affected community, but to as well drop some words of caution.
This kind of tragedies are happening just too many in our country, and the president is deeply saddened, and he has instructed that the National Orientation Agency carry out advocacy and enlightenment campaigns, especially among these rural communities, to avert the reoccurrence of this. Only a few weeks ago, we saw what happened in Diko, we saw what happened in Enugu, we saw what happened a few months ago in Jigawa and elsewhere in Niger State, in Ibadan. You know, these are tragedies that are virtually man-made. We cannot allow them to continue. People cannot just come, store explosives in their house with the aim of using them at their mining sites. This is not acceptable. You heard what the governor of Niger State has said. You've seen what he has done at the state level to ensure that this does not happen. The federal government has also stepped up this, and the president has directed that all those involved in this activity will be further reorganized.
Apart from explosives that they usually keep at home, there's also pollution of the river, like the Sabon-Pegi here. So they go there to clean gold, and over time, these are all cancerous elements that can develop in a human's body.
Niger State Governor Umar Bago announced the donation of 224 million naira to the victims on behalf of the state government and the immediate past governor, Senator Abubakar Sani Bello.
We have come here to discuss with the people so that they can surrender some of these explosives they have with them to the committee of NEMA and the State Emergency Management Agency with the security agencies, so that they can store it for them wherever that is better, instead of putting it in their houses, to avert further cases like this. And we have been able to come with some support to support them financially.
As evident from the crowd behind me here, the stakeholders also agreed that there's need for enlightenment among them, especially those who are not educated and involved in these mining activities. The delegation at the palace of the Emir of Borgu, Muhammad Haliru Danturu, prayed for peace in Niger State and the country. From Sabon-Pegi in Mashegun Leku government area of Niger State, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
We now take a break. When we return, more stories from the state assemblies. Please stay with us.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the marketing department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Welcome back. With the aim of strengthening local government administration and empowering chairmen of councils to deliver good governance, The Cross River State House of Assembly has passed the Local Government Amendment Bill 2025. Uduak Etim reports that the bill, which seeks to increase political appointments across the local government areas of the state, was passed after a public hearing where stakeholders contributed their quota. After consideration of all amendments, including additional input from relevant stakeholders, during a public hearing at the mini auditorium of the Cross River State House of Assembly complex, a report was presented to the House by Ayo Bassi, Chairman Joint Committee on Local Government Amendment Bill, comprising House Committee on Local Government, Chieftaincy Affairs and Rural Development, Judiciary, Public Service Matters, Public Petitions and Conflict Resolutions, as well as Public Accounts. The House was later dissolved to the Committee of the Whole, where Speaker sits as chairman to deliberate on the bill. The amendment is based on 7 sections of the principal law to create more offices and appointments, including ward relations officers, who shall rank in status of special assistants, and also states the responsibility of the vice chairman of council.
What we have done is very simple, is to encourage greater participants in the local government. Like before this time, we would see 7 supervisors, I was secretary 10. We have expanded the level of participation to 50.
And we have done so far that is so satisfactory to the 10th Assembly, ranging from the chairman, trying to free chairman from so many responsibility, and then giving the vice chairman also some responsibility.
The amendment also gives right to Holga to enjoy the status of permanent secretary, while leader of the council shall appoint 2 special assistants and 1 protocol officer.
The leader may appoint the chief press or shall appoint chief press secretary, 1 special assistant, 1 protocol officer, and 1 personal assistant. And around what we have done to address perseverance in order to encourage democracy in rural areas.
The bill, which seeks to bring the 3rd tier of government closer to people, is amended to meet critical contemporary issues.
What we've done today is quite timely, and the amendment that is done should be one of the best amendments done on the floor of these hallowed chambers, because the multiplier effect of this amendment can never be overemphasized.
It is expected that the passage of the amendment bill will enhance effective service delivery at the local government level. In Calabar, Uduak Etim, NTA News. The Zamfara State House of Assembly has declared the seat of Aliu Ango Kagara, member representing Talata Mafara South constituency, vacant. This decision followed a motion presented by the majority leader, Bello Muhammad, and seconded by the Deputy Speaker, Adamu Aliu Gumi. Correspondent Bello Sani has details.
It is resumed plenary after the Naviari says the Zamfara State House of Assembly declares the seat of member representing Talata Mafara South constituency, Aliu Ango Kagara, vacant. The majority leader, Bello Muhammad Mazawaje, in his motion, noted that Aliu Ango Kagara had been absent from the House, attending only 21 out of 180 sitting days. He emphasized that his behavior violates the Nigerian constitution and the standing rules of the House. During the deliberations, several members, including Kabiru Mikaelu Dangulbi, Maros House, Rilwanu Marafana Gambo, representing Anka, Ibrahim Garba Liman Fegin Mahe, representing Gusau 2, and Adamu Ali Gumi, representing Gumi 2, expressed unanimous support for the motion and highlighted the importance of upholding the House standing rules and constitutional provisions. After extensive deliberation, the Speaker Bilyamin Ismail Moriki announced the unanimous decision of the House and declares the seat vacant.
It is your wish that this Honorable House, in line with the provision of Section 109, Sub 1 and 2, Sub 1F and 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, do resolve that Honorable Aliu Ango Kagara be vacated of his seat as honorable member, having been absent from meeting of the House of Assembly for a period amounting in the aggregate for more than 1/3 of the total number of days during which the House meets in 1 year. Those in support say aye, those against say nay.
Meanwhile, the House has also deliberated on a motion to investigate the status of the Zamfara State Fertilizer Blending Plant and mandated the House Committee on Agriculture and Justice to conduct an inquiry and submit their findings within 1 month for legislative action. In Gusau, Bello Sani, NTA News.
Moving on to security matters. The people of Ogbe community in Yagba West local government of Kogi State are now living in fear as killings and abductions, particularly of young men, have become almost a daily occurrence. Member representing the constituency, Idowu Ibinkole, who raised this as a motion of urgent public importance, appealed for increased security presence in the area. Jacob Sani reports that the House also confirmed the commissioner nominee for the newly established Ministry of Livestock, Dr. Olufemi Bolarin, at plenary.
Ogbe is a farming community in Yagba West local government area of Kogi State. It is also a border community with Ekiti State. The community recently is under attacks and killings, which has made it impossible for residents to go to their farms. Member representing Yagba West State constituency, Idowu Ibikule, in a motion explains that the recent killing of a prominent community youth and the abduction of 2 others who are still at large have sent fears among the residents.
Sir, to me now, although our people, nobody can travel to my community. If you see blood on the road, they were killing people. They were torment. They were crying. I don't know what to do. But I know God to protect the governor, and we did it and direct him to us this time around. To save the whole from the hand of the people. Many are still in their heart, crying, and they were asking for ransom. Yes. I will be very grateful. Thank you.
His colleagues in their contributions aligned with the motion.
Mr. Speaker, sir, distinguished colleagues, insecurity in Ogbe is an insecurity to everywhere in this state.
Fellow members, what I feel this motion, so that we have some seriousness, it's not just to adopt it as spray, but instead of writing the government, we have to resolve in writing the necessary security concern in those areas so that they will immediately swing into action. If you are in support of this position, say aye. Aye. Against, say nay. Yes,
To other matters of the day, the majority leader, Dr. Suleiman Abrazak, moved that the House be dissolved into the Committee of the Whole to consider the report of the screening of a commissioner nominee for newly created Ministry of Livestock, Dr. Olufemi Bolarin. The lawmakers, after going through the biography of Dr. Olufemi, who was at a time commissioner in the state, say the nominee has the capacity and ability to serve in the ministry. The screened commissioner expressed willingness to harness agricultural potentials that are bound in the state for food security.
In livestock management, Kogi State is centrally pulled. Our local people rear chicken, and then we have small ruminants and we have large ruminants. So Kogi State is vantageously placed in terms of poultry production, which we are going to make Kogi State a hub, as well as the small ruminants and the large ruminants.
The House observed a mini silence in honor of 3 former members of the House who have passed away. Jacob Sani, NTA News.
The Kano State House of Assembly has passed a resolution calling on the state government to construct a flyover that will link Kurna Babanlayi to Masalachin Kada. This was contained in a joint motion sponsored by the representative of Dala, Fagi and Gongo constituencies. Samira Hamisushira reports on these and other engagements at the Assembly.
Kurna Babanlayi, Kandahar to Miltara, is one of the busiest routes in the commercial hub of Kano, connecting about 3 local government councils and some parts of Niger Republic. Traffic gridlock in the early and late hours of the day is a norm in this location. Against this backdrop, representatives Lawal Dahiru from Dala, Aminu Saadu from Ungogo, and their counterpart from Fagi, Tukur Mohammed, presented a joint motion for the construction of Emancipate the Plight of Road Users, which got an unflinching support. In another development, the House Committee on Religious Affairs presented its findings on the screening and confirmation of remaining members of the Kano State Zakah and Hupsi as the Sharia Commission, which saw the light of the day after a series of observations on the recommendations of the committee. Earlier, the Houses approved the appointments of Aminu Sharif, Noura Salahawa, and Abdullahi Baturi as secretary and sit-in directors of the Assembly Service Commission. From the Kano State House of Assembly, Samira Hanisishara, NTA News.
And with that report, we conclude Parliamentary News. You can still watch this news and other programs on our social media handles showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. On behalf of the production crew, I am Ene Ojonuba.